something so debatable nowadays. It's something known as Kush, known as green, known as all these different names that college kids give them and all these different things. But really the biggest issue with all this is the morality of it. And this would be marijuana. And what I would be talking about today is giving you two main points as to why the legalization of marijuana needs to happen. Not only in Texas, but throughout the United States in general. So these two main points would obviously be why it should be legalized, but also why I understand why it shouldn't be legalized. But to start, we're going to talk money, because money's pretty important. Money's pretty important when it comes to legalizing a plant and for use for medicinal use and other things. So we'll start with money. We'll throw some numbers out there. Marijuana tax revenue, as told by the Huffington Post, made top $3 billion a year with legalization in Texas. $3 billion. Now you think of that as like a whole and as a state. Well, billions of dollars nowadays is just kind of like talking about dollar bills laying on the side of the table, especially when it comes to government, right? Now to the state, $3 billion in 1 year for the revenue of off taxes and things like that, what it could make for the state would be unbelievable. And the turn that it could make through 10, 15, 20 years down the line. And so that's one number that I'll throw to you. But with that comes numbers as California being legalized, and maybe New York, with California numbering right around $519 million a year that they would make, again, a year, they would be making off of revenue of marijuana. Coming in second, or a close second, would be $248 million a year to New York, which is unreal because New York's not even that big. But with so many people and with the want and the desire for this drug, it's crazy how that could turn in 10 to 15, 20 years as well. And this would be an assumed 15% tax rate. So this is over the course of 1 year being taxed 15%, which is high, but at the same time, there's a high demand for it. So why not raise the taxes a little bit? You know, to get more money back to the government and overall turn what has been such a decrease and something they haven't had because of the illegalization of it. So more numbers, $8 billion in annual savings in law enforcement if marijuana were to be legalized. So obviously this would take people out of jail, this would put people back on the streets, but it wouldn't be the criminals that they'd be putting back on the streets. It's the people that have wanted to distribute this in ways to get it to the clientele, to the people that wanted it, maybe for different reasons, maybe not for illegal things. I mean, there's only so much you can do with marijuana to make it so deadly and just try to kill yourself with it, but at the same time, it has so many good positive issues. And so that's what I would be talking about next. Obviously, the biggest one would be medicinal. You have people with cancer, whether it be, oh gosh, I don't even know. You can go through all day and name all the cancers that it helps with. It may not cure it, definitely won't cure it, but what it does is it helps relieve chronic pain and that comes with cancer. So that's a huge step alone with what medicinal marijuana does. But another one, and kind of a sidetrack here, and something that I definitely found out going to the college that I'm at right now would be SFA and the turn that medicinal plants have made for the country. And SFA actually found giant salvinia, actually found in Lake LBJ and many lakes around Texas, was just an aquatic invasive plant. And they have found that this is actually, well, what's the word for it? Then the endosides in this plant could actually turn basically this brand new research to find out that the giant salvinia isn't invasive. It's invasive to species and like the environment, but when it comes to helping people with chronic pain and cancers and things like that, that it actually does make a huge positive remark on society. And so that's the cool thing about medicinal plants is it's not just marijuana that's making this positive turn to become one of the most used drugs for medicinal purposes, but it's also other plants as well. And so that's just a side note, but something that I thought and I found that was very, very interesting, and also that it's at my own school. So, and another one concerning the safeties of marijuana, and you don't want people driving around through Legends on 71, on 281, smoking up marijuana as they drive down the street. Well, not saying that people do that, but The NHTSA, which stands for the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, states that driving high are significantly less likely to crash more than those that are drunk. And so you look at that statistic and it's like, well, what do they have to back that up on? I don't want to know how they tested that. I really don't care either. But that alone is the research found just through the little things that helps turn medicinal marijuana into a more positive thing than just maybe marijuana in general. So medicinal and marijuana, yeah, there may not be a huge difference, the uses for it, but marijuana in general for people of the public that just want to get their hands on it, it's obviously going to be safer, near as dangerous as drunk driving. So that's definitely a positive, in the good direction. And the endosides, just to kind of give you like a definition of that, going back to the salvinia real quick, it would help control fast-growing species or tissues, and its real application would be used in the future. And so they haven't really found an application for salvinia yet, but it's basically the same as what marijuana will do as well. So it's making huge turns. I definitely see the other side of this argument as well, seeing where the morality of it comes into play, like why would you do it in the first place? You know, like what makes it so fun? And I think it's really just the out of reality experiences people get with the high that comes with it, and that's really all that it is. That's the other argument, you know, as to why people do it, you know, why do it in the first place. But nonetheless, people are always going to want to get their hands on it, no matter how bad law enforcement wants to shut it down. It's never going to be shut down. It will always be moved throughout our society, and until it's legalized, the government's got to realize, like, look, this is going to bring so much more money back to us, but until they realize that, they're just going to be fighting a crime that shouldn't be fought in the first place. So I hope that I enlightened y'all a little bit and kind of showed you the positives through legalizing marijuana, although it wasn't backed with a lot. I hope that just those little statistics and those little facts have helped kind of the understanding of what can be. So yeah, thank y'all.